Today we're going to be comparing scales from Acaia. But first off, I just want to say thank you for joining us on Cabeen's Coffee Corner. This channel is designed to help you choose the coffee gear you want to purchase for brewing at home. Also, just want to say please like and subscribe to this channel. This really helps me produce more content. If you really like what you see, consider supporting me on Patreon. If you're looking to purchase any of these things, please use the links in the descriptions below where I'll make a slight commission at no extra charge to you. This helps me continue to buy equipment, to review and compare for you guys. I also have an Instagram account called Cabeen's Coffee Corner that you're more than welcome to follow as well. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I got 3 different scales here out of the 4 scales that Acaia sells. The first one is the Acaia Pixis, but I actually have the Cinco model, so it's slightly different but pretty much the same. The next one I have is the Acaia Lunar scale, and the third one I have is the Acaia Pearl scale. The only one that I'm missing here is the Acaia Pearl S. So first off, I want to go to the price points on this one. This one the Acaia Pearl costs about $140 to $150. The Acaia Lunar costs $225 for the black or silver, or $250 for the white model. And the Pixis version, the smallest scale that they have, is at $270. So none of these scales are cheap by any means. So first off, I just want to compare a little bit about what we got here. The first one I'm going to start off with is the Acaia Pearl scale. So the main thing that we're going to be doing here is we're going to be comparing size, not necessarily the modes on it and why you would want to choose one versus the other. There are different modes and settings on all of these, but pretty much I use the same ones from scale to scale. Keep in mind, I did purchase some of these a few years ago, so some of the accessories might have changed a little bit since these have been produced out. Like this little heat guard has changed a little bit on the Pearl. So I got the Pearl Black edition here. This goes up to holding 2,000 grams of coffee, and it goes to 1/10, so like 0.1 is the lowest that it goes for that. This is designed more so for pour over use, but works great to put a standard size portafilter on. It has a nice heat resistant guard here, and it comes with a charging cable and a few stickers, but other than that, that's about all that it comes with, starting at $150 or $140 for the white model. I chose the black one solely because the light on the scale is a lot easier to see when it comes up white on the black scale than it is the white scale. So that's the reason I chose that, and it has a standard micro USB on the back. I wish they would switch these to USB-C, but then I'd have to buy all new scales, so there is pros and cons to that. It's kind of weighted on the bottom, so like this is a solid piece that sits on there, and it kind of weighs by the pressure that's put on the top. The reason I'm mentioning that is some scales have 4 different feet on it, and each foot goes as a sensor, so it kind of weighs that way. So if it's off a little bit, it gets a little confusing. That this has a built-in stopwatch and timer on there, so you can pour your coffee in and it'll automatically start timing for you if you're doing a pour over. To get an idea of what this looks like, this is the fellow carafe that is on it right now. So it fits a large Chemex pretty easy. You can see the screen. You can also pull out your iPhone or Android, download the app, and you can see all of this digitally on the app, which is kind of convenient if for some reason you needed to cover up the screen just a little bit. You have the AeroPress fits on there nicely. That has the Prismo attachment on it. And then we have a 12-ounce not neutral cup that fits on it pretty well there. So it's a pretty good size scale, kind of fits everything you need on there and does a very good job with that. The next one is the most recent scale that I purchased, and that is the Acaia Lunar scale, which this one is $225 or $250 if you want to get the white version of it. And this one comes with a little bit more and is a little bit, it's a lot smaller, but it still does the 1/10 of a gram, so 0.1 as the lowest weight, and goes up to 2,000. Both of these can be measured in ounces or grams. It comes with a smaller heat resistance pad. This one is water resistant, so when you put it on the tray of a an espresso machine, it works out pretty easily and you don't have to worry about any water damage to the scale. My first impressions of this was a lot heavier than I expected when I pulled it out of the box, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can buy cases for both of these online on Acai's. I think the scale for this one's 50, this one's like 30 or something like that because it's a little bit bigger case. This one comes in, this comes with a little calibration weight of 100 grams, so you can calibrate it to make sure that your scale is as accurate as possible. These are known for being the most accurate version of it. That's actually the wrong box. Got a little confused on these when I boxed them up. In here you have two different types of feet for them. So you have like a kind of smoother bottom grip, and you have a grippier bottom that you get a stick on right here. I kind of wish these came pre-installed. I don't know why they didn't. I didn't have to mess with grips on any of the other scales, and the calibration weight and a couple of stickers and instructions, things like that. Like I said, this one costs $225. This one fits underneath of a flare drip tray if that's something that you're concerned and wondering about. It also will fit on the robot if you turn it sideways, so it kind of fits everything. You can fit that on there, but it does cover up the screen a little bit. The cup is pretty big and pretty large on it, and the AeroPress is pretty full on it. So this is kind of giving you a comparison on how that is. It's about like the same kind of width as an AeroPress, maybe just a tad bigger on that. But what I would typically do is brewing a pour over this, I would just simply pull out the phone and use the app so I can see the screen on that, and that goes pretty quickly and I don't see any lag on that. So I've done like an 8-cup Chemex on this scale because it does weigh the same and it can hold the same capacity as this one. It's just a smaller footprint. Moving on to the last scale, the Acaia Pixis. I have the Cinco version. The Cinco is the 5th anniversary of it. The Pixis is now just in black. This one came with the most. It came with this little travel case. This one is metal for the Cinco, so if you find one used on eBay or something like that, it should be a metal case. I believe it is plastic now on the Pixis, so a little bit lower quality on that, but it has nice edges on the inside so it won't slide around in there, and a nice magnetic enclosure so you can be confident anywhere you go with this case. This also came with the calibration weight on the inside, some stickers, QR codes, all of that stuff. This is what a calibration weight looks like. It's 100 grams, so you know exactly if your scale is working, and has different calibration modes on it. This one came with a few anniversary pins of the different scales on there. One of the huge differences about this outside of the size is this is tiny, still charges the same way with the micro USB, but this one goes into 100th of a gram, so 0.01. So even more precise and more accurate than the already very accurate Lunar and Pearl models. However, this only goes up to 500 grams of weighing that you can do, so significantly less, a fourth of the amount on that. The reason why this scale is great, it fits better under the flare, under the robot. It's nice under espresso machine. It fits a standard espresso size cup. This is some random one that I had sitting around. It fits it well, and you can see it on the screen. The screen lights up well. When it comes to bigger cups like this one, it makes it a little bit harder to see on your espresso machine, which means you'd have to maybe pull out the app if you want it that way. The AeroPress, I have brewed an AeroPress like this, and I just pulled out the app again, and it works very, very well. Now moving on to what I would use all of these for. Obviously, some of these come in a little bit more reasons. Like if you're doing espresso, the Pearl is not the way to go. But if you're only going to do pour over, you never plan on getting into espresso, the Pearl is going to be great. It's the cheapest of the options by $75, which is significant. This is the highest rated scale that you can get, the most accurate scale that you can really get that is currently out on the market. So you're never going to really need to upgrade from it. It's going to work great. Acaia has a great support system. It comes with a year warranty, I believe, in there. The next one is this one is probably the best for espresso just because it's a little bit bigger, but works great. It's small enough. It's quite a bit smaller than the Pearl, which makes it nice if you're traveling. You could buy the case for an extra $20 or $30 and put it in a backpack with you and go on vacation, things like this. and the Cinco, or the Pixis. The Pixis I really like because it goes well with my travel kit. This is probably primarily what I used it for. I also use it on the flare and the robot because it just does fit a lot better in there. I got this a few years ago, so I think maybe about 3 years ago, so I've been using it quite a bit. But it works really nice when I'm at a hotel room and I will fit my grinder in my AeroPress. I have like an immersion heater, so I heat up the water in my AeroPress and I do all the weight simply on this scale, and it works phenomenally. I just pull out my phone and it all fits in a super nice package, and it already has the case with it. But honestly, when it comes to the versatility of this one isn't very good. You can only use it for so many things because it's so small. If you're into backpacking and you really want to scale, this is about the smallest and lightest that you can get and the most accurate. However, I've never really needed to go to like the 100th of a gram that it does. I feel like that's almost kind of redundant. I never need that much accuracy. So that's never been a huge deal for me. When I look at overall of these 3 scales that I have here, there's a huge size difference in them. And if I were to buy one, if I was doing a one and done thing, if I had to go out and buy all of these again, which one would I choose and why? I would choose the Lunar, and I would probably buy the travel case for it. The reason for that is because it's still pretty small. You can still travel with it anywhere you go. If you travel often or not much or whatever you want, it's nice to have the option to bring the scale with you and have the consistency. It's big enough for a pour over, and it can do a full-size Chemex on this thing if you're willing to pull out your phone and do that extra step with the app. It's waterproof or water resistant. It sits on a drip tray for espresso, nice. It has all the features I want between automatic timing, weighing, all that stuff that I use on a regular basis, and is the best overall scale. If I'm into a lot of cooking and a lot of pour overs, I feel like this one would be nice because I do use this to like kind of weigh out portions of food. It works greater because it has that bigger surface area, and you can always easily see the screen a lot quicker. The Pixis is probably a little bit overrated in my opinion. Unless you have extra money to burn or you're only going to do espresso, then I really wouldn't do the Pixis. Or you really need a tight travel kit with a good accurate scale, then the Pixis is a good option. But overall, I think the Lunar does the best job, and you never really need to upgrade it from it. It's gonna go well if you're into pour overs. It's gonna go well if you're into espresso, and it's always going to be the top of the line one out there for a long time, and I don't foresee that changing in the near future. So I'd hands down almost pick this every single time. You can even buy this magnetic little plate on there so you can fit 2-size cappuccino cups. It's big enough where you can, it makes it a lot easier to weigh your beans for dosing versus the Pixis version. You can see the screen with the 12-ounce cup on it. You can almost see the screen through this. If you set it up just right, you can actually make a pour over and still see the screen with this decent sized carafe. A Chemex should be a little different. It holds the AeroPress with the Prismo attachment on pretty easily and still being able to see the screen. So overall, I think the Lunar is the way to go. These two are actually going to the office where I have a robot and I do espresso there. This is kind of the best way to do it for me. And I'm leaving this one at home because this one I feel like is the most versatile. So if I'm doing a pour over and I'm in that kind of mood, if I want to pre-dose and weigh my beans for my niche, then this is the way to go. If I want to put it on my drip tray for espresso, this is the way to go, and it does everything I need all in one setting. And I think I almost regret not buying this one first. I kind of regret the $150 purchase of this. It's still a great scale, but I was into espresso when I bought this, and I should have just spent the money outright and just got this scale right from the get-go, and that would have met most of my needs versus going all throughout this. So again, this one is $270, comes with the calibration weight. This one is $225, comes with the heat pad, calibration weight. This one is $150, comes with simply just this heat pad and no calibration weight. So there you have it. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, like I said, there's a lot of different modes on this. You can check that out on Acai's website or read that in there to kind of see what the modes are. But most of them are pretty much the same, and most of them will get you what you want for brewing coffee at home. So thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe this video.